What's good, peeps? Thanks as always for passing by the channel. Much appreciated. Hit that subscribe button if you guys are new. Don't forget as well, please, to like and share the video. And you can support the channel as well. Now, I do have a Patreon account. The link is in the description. All right, let's do this. This week in boxing episode, I think we're at 14 now, 14 or 15. All right, let's go to America. The big one, Deontay Wilder versus Luis Ortiz. Deontay Wilder defends his WBC heavyweight crown with a 7th round stoppage over Luis Ortiz. That's his 10th defense. I've been saying all week, is it his 8th? Is it his 9th? That was his 10th defense, which is impressive to say the least. Luis Ortiz was doing all right in that fight, wasn't he? I'm uploading a video as we speak, which will probably be up before this video, just talking about the fight, so I don't want to go too much into it. But Luis Ortiz was doing all right. Deontay Wilder needs half a second. You've got to be good, full on, switched on for 36 minutes. I don't know if any boxer out there can be switched on for 36 minutes against this fucking punching machine. But yeah, let's see what happens next. We hope it's going to be Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder, February 22nd. I do wonder if they might push that back slightly to maybe March or even April. But fingers crossed, that is the fight that happens next. I wouldn't mind seeing a Dillian White, but I think Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder is the fight we all want to see next. On the undercard of that one, Brandon Figueroa was a split decision draw against Julio Cesar. That was for the WB Super Bantamweight title. So I think that belt still stays, or I think it is with Figueroa, who was the interim champion before. I think he got elevated, so I think he keeps that belt. Luis Santa Cruz also fought on that card. He beat Miguel Flores by unanimous decision. That was for the vacant WBA Super Featherweight crown. Let's see what happens with Santa Cruz. I'm getting a bit tired of Santa Cruz, if I'm honest with you. I just think he's not active enough. Or maybe that's just me. I just feel like we don't see him fight enough. But he has said he wants to fight the likes of Lomachenko, Gary Russell Jr., Gervonta Davis. I just can't see these fights happening, if I'm honest with you. Let's hope they do happen, because he is a good fighter, right? He's been in some good fights with the likes of Abner Mars, Carl Frampton. Let's see if he does take, I think, that next step up to the likes of Gervonta Davis, Gary Russell Jr. Maybe he's got to step up in weight, or Loma coming down. We'll see. I don't know. Loads of other fights on that card. We're not going to go through all of them because it was like, I think, a 10-fight card or something. So also on that card, though, Marcellus Wilder. Obviously, I'm only mentioning him because he's Deontay Wilder's brother. He got stopped by Justin Long, who I think has only had like a 5-fight record as well. Marcellus Wilder, I think, has only had 6 fights himself, got beat. Remember, he got stopped before. I don't know if this was 2 or 3 fights ago, got put down hard again in this one. I wonder if that's it, right? I mean, if you're getting beat at this level and stopped at this level, you're not really going to do much in this game. So I kind of wonder if that's it. Or is he just going to always fight on his brother's undercards? Who knows? I don't know. All right, let's go to Liverpool. The Echo Arena. Is it still called the Echo Arena? Callum Smith beat John Ryder by unanimous decision to defend his WBA and WBC diamond belts and the Ring Magazine belt as well. I personally don't think he won that fight. You guys have seen the ranting video I've done already. He didn't win that fight. He didn't win that fight. I'm going to do another video talking about this, actually, because I'm just not happy. Even if he won, and I think a lot of people, I've seen some people say it could have been like 7-5 either side. We need to stop saying that, because it's never 7-5 to the kind of the underdog or the away fighter. So we keep saying that, oh, it could have gone either way. Why does it never go the way? Or so why does it never go the way of the underdog or the away fighter? Why does it, if that statement is true, why does it always go to the home guy or the favorite? Check it. Go and check the records. Always goes that way. So yeah, I wasn't very happy about that. On the undercard of that one, some good fights. James Tennyson beat Craig Evans. James Tennyson has actually stepped up in weight. So let's see what he does. Had a good little run until he lost to Tevin Farmer. Has had a good run since then. He stopped Craig Evans in the 11th. So he wants to now maybe get a couple more wins and then maybe go into title action again. Chris Williams-Smith beat Craig Glover. Stopped him in the 5th for the Commonwealth strap. That was a strap vacated by Lawrence Okoli. I don't know what next for Chris Williams-Smith. He's obviously fought Riakporhe already. Maybe Isaac Chamberlain, maybe Duke Watkins. I mean, there are guys out there, so we'll see. It's a good division, the cruiserweight division in the UK, so we'll see. There are fights out there. Sean Dodd got a technical decision win against Tom Farrell. They clashed heads. It went to the scorecards. Dodd was ahead on the scorecards at the time, hence why he got the decision. Anthony Fowler beat Harry Scarf, put him down, and then it was a kind of a boring, routine win. He claims a WBA International 154-pound belt. Not quite sure what that means, if I'm honest with you. I'm not sure about Fowler. And what I mean is I'm not sure he's going to live up to the hype. In fact, he won't. He won't live up to the hype. Maybe that's a bit harsh. This is only his, I think, 11th pro fight. But he talks a big game, and he's been promoted quite well. Let's see what he does in that rematch with Fitzgerald. I don't even know why there's a rematch, if I'm honest with you. They just need to push and promote Fitzgerald and let him do his own thing. But they're going to have a rematch. If he loses the rematch, and they're talking about having an interim fight in between, if he loses the rematch to Scott Fitzgerald, then that could be it, right? In terms of him, in terms of the lofty expectations, he could just stay at British level. Fitzgerald, I like Fitzgerald a lot. I think he's a character. I think he needs to be promoted. All right, MTK Golden Contracts, which were at York Hall, Bethnal Green. Some results from there. O'Hara Davis beat Logan Yoon. Good performance from O'Hara Davis. Very good performance. Long reach, and he used it to good effect. Got I think the corner stopped that one in the 7th. Mohammed Mimoun, if I pronounced that right, beat Darren Surtees. Tyron McKenna beat, my writing's all fucked up here. I think it's Mikey Saki. And Kieran Gethin. It was a split draw with Jeff Okori, but the referee gets to decide who wins, and Jeff was the one who got his hand raised. I tell you now, Jeff Okori took that fight on like 3 days' notice. He actually had a fight the week before, I think, in Liverpool, an 8-rounder, and won that. So that's impressive, right? Some other boxing action. Quite a load of fights went on, by the way. We can't go through all of them. It'll take too long. Zhu Can beat Manny Rubles to defend his WBA featherweight strap. Scorecards were 120-108 and 119-109 twice. So let's see what happens to him. All right, let's do the news. Not a crazy amount of news, which is good, because I don't want this video to go on fucking language, Addy. I don't want this video to go on 35, 40 minutes. All right, Floyd Mayweather has said he is now returning. He's coming out of retirement. You guys all saw the Instagram post. This Instagram post was retweeted by Dana White. I have done a video on it. I don't know how true this is. I'm not quite sure. TMZ, who are the biggest gossip channel in the world, have said something like Floyd will have, I think, one boxing match, and then against another boxer. So that could be Manny Pacquiao, we don't know. And then a boxing match against a UFC guy. That could be Khabib Nurmagomedov, who knows? So that's supposedly what's going to happen. Don't know. I don't know. I do think this is all part of Dana White's zoo for boxing, right? Which makes sense. If Dana White wants to make a big splash in the market, then you don't make a bigger splash than getting Floyd Mayweather out of retirement, do you? But we'll see what happens. Manny Pacquiao fight will do incredible numbers, let's be honest. Shouldn't, but it will. And so will Floyd against Khabib Nurmagomedov. It will do great numbers as well. So Floyd's always about those numbers, as he keeps on talking about, and those checks. And I think both of them will be big. Anthony Joshua has finally come out and spoke to the media in the build-up to this fight with Andy Ruiz Jr. Remember, we're only 2 weeks away to this fight. I can't wait to get my ass out there. I still haven't received my visa. I shall be sending an email to Matchroom immediately after this. He said in an interview, and I think it was a bit of tongue-in-cheek, but he said if he wins this one, everyone needs to bow to his feet. He said a lot of you guys have spoken up about Andrew Ruiz being the fastest boxer in the world right now, being the best heavyweight. If he goes on and beats Andy Ruiz, he wants everyone to respect him and bow to his feet. Even though I do think it is tongue-in-cheek, this is a different side of AJ. I have not seen an AJ like this for a while, if ever. So I'm happy that he's confident. Let's see what he does, right? Let's see what he does. I'm going to make so many videos in the lead up to this fight because I am super intrigued, and honestly, it's a toss of the coin. This fight can go any which way. I hope it goes the AJ way, but I would not be shocked. He has lost a bit of weight. I think everyone's spoken about this. I think he said it's a case of he's just training and the weight just comes off. It just comes off. It's not anything in terms of him thinking about losing weight. I think that's a lie. I think they are making him a lot lighter. He does look a lot lighter. He wants to be a bit more lighter on his feet. We've always said this. Anthony Joshua's come in. I mean, at his heaviest, I think he's been something like 18 stone something against Carlos Takam. At his lightest, around 17 and a half stone, I think it is. So if he comes in anywhere in between that, I think it'll be a good thing for him. Some fighters return into the ring. Danny Garcia will return January the 25th. It was supposed to be a fight against Errol Spence, obviously because of this Errol Spence car crash. We don't know what's going on with Errol Spence. We haven't really heard from anyone close to Errol Spence, apart from knowing he's okay. We don't know when he's going to return. So it'll be interesting to see who Danny Garcia fights. Can't think of anyone off the top of my head. Danny Garcia is one of those fighters that fights someone really good, right? We've seen that in Keith Thurman and Sean Porter, then fights someone completely unknown. So I wouldn't be shocked if it's a completely unknown fighter, even from a weight class below. We know he does that. Wouldn't be shocked. A fight that was announced a few days ago is Munguia versus Spike O'Sullivan. We didn't know at the time that this would be Munguia's jump up to 160 pounds. It will be. He will be fighting 160 pounds, which makes me wonder what is actually going on with Liam Smith, because you would think this would be a perfect opportunity for Liam Smith maybe to fight for that vacant belt. There was a lot of talk about Liam Smith being on the undercard of Anthony Joshua. That talk seems to have stopped, right? I doubt he is now. Obviously, it's only 2 weeks away. So I wonder if Liam Smith will fight for that vacant belt maybe in the new year against, they was talking about maybe Jesse Vargas. Decent little scrap. Let's talk Chavez Jr. for a few minutes. Chavez Jr. was or is suspended by Nevada State Athletic Commission. Obviously, he's got his fight coming up against Daniel Jacobs. That fight is scheduled for the 20th of December. He has been suspended, and he's been suspended until the 18th. I mean, is boxing really serious about drug cheats? Because, look, he didn't fail a drug test, don't get me wrong. He ran away from one. So they've suspended him until the 18th from running away from a drug test, knowing his fight's on the 20th. Boxing. This ban, however, is a lot more serious. Ryan Martin, who last fought against Josh Taylor about a year and a bit ago, has been banned by UKAD until 2022. Fucking hell. So it's a 4-year ban, because that fight, obviously, they've kind of backdated it to when he had the fight, till 2022. Now, he's saying that he took something, I think it was a contaminated pre-workout, but they're not fucking about. They have banned him until 2022. Now, I haven't looked into this. There is a massive document on UKAD's website, which you can download and actually really read through exactly what happened. But I still don't know if he's banned just from fighting in the UK or if it's a worldwide ban. I think it is just the UK, which means very little, because I don't think he was ever going to come back and fight in the UK, if I'm honest with you. But nonetheless, it is good to see a named boxer, because Ryan Martin kind of is a named boxer, get a severe ban like this. I think well done to UKAD, right? Like, we don't know really what's going on with other things they're doing, but at least we know they're kind of stamping down on something here. It is laughable, though, when you look at what he supposedly took and you compare it to what Jarrell Miller definitely took, and Jarrell Miller got 6 months and he's got 4 years. Boy, it's who you know and it's who you are in this world of boxing, I'll tell you that. Now, all right, last couple of bits. Eddie Hearn has said Chisora is more likely to fight Alexander Usyk instead of Joseph Parker. Remember, Chisora versus Joseph Parker was supposed to get it on until Joseph Parker got that spider bite. Chisora went on to fight David Price, won that, and now there's been a lot of talk about Chisora versus Usyk. I think it started in the in-ring interview when Chisora actually called out Usyk. Usyk's management were quiet about it. They've now said, look, happy to do that fight. They'll do that fight prior to Usyk challenging for a world title. What Chisora wants is to fight for a world title, so I don't know how Eddie Hearn's going to do this one, but we'll see. Remember, Usyk is mandatory for the WBA belt that Ruiz currently has. So we'll see what happens if Ruiz vacates or if he wants to hold on to all the belts. And when this fight will likely take place between Chisora and Usyk, they're looking at February or March. I just think that this is a more attractive fight for Chisora in the sense that it's more money. Let's be honest, it's a much bigger pay-per-view fight than Joseph Parker. I think the UK fans like Usyk. And not only that, but Chisora is obviously rolling the dice here. He beats Usyk, then it's a world title shot next. He beats Parker, that isn't guaranteed. Do you know what I mean? In terms of a world title shot next. You beat Usyk, you're getting a world title shot next. So interesting, right? Interesting for Chisora. Unlucky for Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker has been called out by Daniel Dubois the last couple of days. That fight's not going to happen, but I do wonder what's going to happen with Joseph Parker now. If I'm him, I just wait for the winner of Hunter Povetkin. I think that's a perfect fight for him. I will end on this one. Tyson Fury has come out. Obviously, he's done his autobiography, and that's been selling well. I think it is the #1 seller right now on Amazon, which is unbelievable, right? What a year for him. What a last couple of years for him, if I'm honest with you. But he's come out and said that he didn't take anything illegal in this issue that he's had with UCAD. I think a lot of people forget that Tyson Fury was banned. It's almost forgetting, right? You forget it because obviously he ballooned himself up in weight, depression, cocaine. There was a ban there. It was a 2-year ban. He's saying that he did nothing wrong and that he wants that cloud that was over his head to kind of be removed. I'm not sure. I think he did do something wrong. I think he took something. It was illegal, hence why he received a ban. But what do you guys make of it? I need to read or understand what he took a bit more. I don't really want to comment on it now because I don't know too much about it. But it is interesting how Tyson Fury doesn't get labelled a drug cheat. It's strange. There are some boxers that just don't get labelled as drug cheats. I don't think Tyson Fury gets labelled as a drug cheat, even though there was a ban there. I don't think Billy Joe Saunders gets labelled a drug cheat, even though there was a ban there. There's some fighters that somehow duck and swerve it, which is weird. But I am going to make a video on this Tyson Fury issue once I read and understand the drug a bit more. I am hearing from a few people that it was contaminated meat. I'm not having that excuse anymore. So let me read about it and discuss it a bit more. But that's it. That's the quickest this week in boxing because I need to go to my sister's house and eat Sunday lunch. Peace.